Hello folks, well, now we're talking about cans or canned food. Well, food cans or tin cans. It was invented it's a French invention. It's invented in France, originally from France. Came out with this invention of cans, food cans. This you can't open, but later on they came out with the can opener. This is a swing away can opener. You twist it and you pull the can. But a breakthrough came out with this invention called the pull tab. Pull tab cans was the greatest innovation in can opening. It was first introduced with soda pop and beer. That you just pull the tab and open up. But now it is more common that what we've seen right now is that food cans, like your can of tuna or when you mentioned living in other countries where pull tab cans are more common than these cans that you need to open. It came out in all different shapes and sizes. This size, smaller size for sardines and all that stuff. But in a way, it is. But I will show you. This can is not a regular can. This can is a pull tab can. This can is probably be more common in other countries. Right here the pull tab can is common, but it's just common for beverages, soda pops, beer, juices. Well, definitely right here in the States, you do have pull tab cans. Pull tab cans like this, like this. It almost made the can opener useless. It's just in trouble for the can opener industry. The companies that makes can openers swing away and all that stuff. They would like seeing a risk for these kind of cans, for this innovation called the pull tab cans. Well, if you have been to certain countries that most of the canned foods, not just soda pop, not just beer, not just for beverages, like your can of tuna, your beans, and all those canned foods, all different shapes and sizes, 100% of them comes like this. You pull the can, you pull it up, and you take the lid out, right? Yes. This would be almost impossible. It would be it would be like the worst case scenario, a nightmare for can opener companies that make can openers, for the can opener industry, right? And it is like saying some things that is useless in the kind of way of we don't need it. It's useless. This is an innovation. Yes, pull tabs is an innovation. It's a breakthrough in can opening technology. It was introduced with beverages, but now it's a breakthrough. And then it's not that common here in the United States, but most likely will be more common in other countries. And Bundang Bear, I think you lived in Korea. Yeah, the fat dude, right? You always have to criticize, the Japan criticizer and stuff. Oh, I bet all these cans are not like this in South Korea, but most of those cans are like this in South Korea because this is useless over there. I bet there are 100. I bet there is a country. I see Canada with these type of cans like this, can openers like that. I don't know. Is not more common? I don't know if Japan have can like this, pull tab cans, and all their canned foods, canned soups, and all that stuff. Even tuna. Well, what it is breakthrough through advances in technology and simplicity. What makes a breakthrough, this is kind of low tech. What makes a breakthrough to make this obsolete? Thanks to Coke, thanks to Budweiser, thanks to people that came out with the cans of beer, with the can of soda. You pull that and you drink the soda. Came out with this type of cans for food. This is a can of fruit. To make this almost useless, almost obsolete. As I'm wondering, we have free trade agreement with South Korea. Then about the food part, canned foods. I'm talking about, this is not just soda pops. This is not just beer, but all the can of tuna, all the can of soups, all the, I don't know, sardine. Other countries will bring sardines, but please, if they have to export from Korea, make 100% of the Korean sardine industry with cans like these. All of them, 100% for Korean export. But for the U.S., I'm thinking of free trade. How are we going to follow this? It would be plain and simple. FTA with South Korea. I mean, I don't know if other countries are doing it. I don't know if Holland, the Netherlands is doing this, or Britain, or France. Maybe in those countries, finding a can opener, the only way you can find a can opener in those countries is on the internet, on eBay, when you just buy it from the US or from a country that still uses can openers and not in the stores. Well, this is plain and simple of where you go. If you have experiment in a country where all the cans are pull tab cans, not just soda and beer or beverages, but your tuna, your beans, and everything else, 100% of the cans are pull tab cans, that this is useless, then tell me about it. Tell me and write me a comment. But this is what I'm saying about what would be. I bet he's Psy in his own country doesn't need a can opener for this can of fruit. Why? Because he buy this other can of fruit with a pull tab and he doesn't need it. That's just the case may be with exporting canned foods to South Korea. If you want to try to export canned foods to South Korea, the only mention that the ones for the Korean market, whichever it is, could be Campbell's, could be all these food companies that are trying to produce and they want to export food for the Korean market, make 0% of these that make 0% of these exports of cans that you need can opener. Just 0% to those cans exported to South Korea will be the can opener, the ones that you need a can opener. But in all different shapes and sizes, tuna, this size of fruit, and all that stuff. If you want to export to South Korea, they have to be, all the cans has to be 100% pull tab, 0% can opener needed. That way, that country, if they still have seen canned food from the United States being imported to South Korea, and all of them are pull tab, then what would happen to the can industry in South Korea? They're gonna go out of business, or they're going to, it's bad business for the can opener industry. Now they're gonna follow, and then canned food in Korea will be 100% of their food will be manufactured in Korea, will be pull tab. Even what happened with tuna fish that is imported from Korea is going to come like this. So it is like important to see that if they do an FTA with South Korea, all the canned goods, 100% of them has to be like this. 0% of them has to be like this. That way, that it would reach out in South Korea to finding a can opener in the store will be difficult. It will be so difficult that the only way you could find or you could buy a can opener in South Korea will be on eBay. That a can opener is bought from the States, because there's no supermarket or drugstore in South Korea that sells can openers, because other canned foods are like this. Then it will be simple to see that kind of reaction of saying that, the Korean canned food industry will make all their food like this because this would be obsolete. And if it is true, but if it is true that all the cans are pull tabs, then it'll be, and they already did it like a while ago or a long time ago. Then simple, tell me about it. What's the pull tabs? Was the majority of the canned foods are pull tabs in South Korea? Or have you been in another country that all the majority of canned foods are pull tabs? Tell me about it. And what you see is you don't see a can opener in the stores, but just whatever the case may be, that to export canned goods to South Korea from the United States to South Korea, there has to be 100% of those cans being pull tabs. So that it will be the only way to find a can opener in South Korea will be in Amazon or eBay. That somebody in the States or in a country that still use can openers could buy a can opener from those countries. And those countries outside Korea that do sell can openers. But anyway, tell me about it. Tell me some comments about countries that don't use can openers, countries that sell other canned foods, pull tab cans, that none of them are can opener certified cans, that are not can opener certified cans. Tell me about it. Write me a comment. Even Boondak Bear could write me a comment. I bet you live there. I bet 100% of those canned foods in South Korea are pull tab. Maybe Japan has pull tab canned food, and probably in Japan, if they have pull tab canned foods, probably the only way in Japan to find a can opener would be on eBay or Amazon.com. Or online, whoever for the States or a country that still use can openers. So goodbye and peace out, and write me a comment below. Bye.